Welcome to my channel Super Rare Coins. Today is best top 3 coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. The 1972 United States $1 coin is a significant and widely recognized piece of American numismatic history, often referred to as part of the Eisenhower dollar series, 1971-1978. Contrary to what is sometimes misunderstood, this coin does not feature Queen Elizabeth II, as the United States has never issued currency bearing her image. Instead, the obverse proudly bears the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, 1953-1961, and the revered Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Forces in Europe during World War II. The reference to Elizabeth is a common mix-up, as British and Commonwealth coins during this era prominently depicted Queen Elizabeth II, but the U.S. coinage never did. This $1 coin represents a distinctly American design and historical narrative. The Eisenhower dollar was the first U.S. dollar coin issued for general circulation since the Peace Dollar series ended in 1935. After decades of the dollar coin being absent from everyday commerce, Congress authorized the new large-size dollar in 1970 to honor both President Dwight D. Eisenhower and the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969, one of America's most significant achievements in the 20th century. As such, this coin carries dual symbolism, political and space exploration heritage. On the obverse, front side, the coin features a left-facing portrait of Eisenhower, designed by Frank Gasparo, who was the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. The portrait is strong and stoic, capturing the former president's determined and noble character. Surrounding the bust are the Liberty, across the top, In God We Trust, to the left beneath the chin, and the date, 1972, at the bottom. To the right of the date is the mint mark, D, signifying that this particular coin was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The D mint mark is critical for collectors, as $1,972 were also struck in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark for proof and 40% silver issues. The reverse, backside, of the coin is equally iconic, symbolizing the Apollo 11 lunar mission. It depicts an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch in its talons, with the Earth visible in the background above the lunar surface. This image is based on the official Apollo 11 mission insignia designed by astronaut Michael Collins. The on the reverse include United States of America, along the top edge E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one, above the eagle, and $1 at the bottom. This reverse design not only commemorates the historic moon landing but also reflects America's aspirations of peace and exploration during the Cold War era. The technical specifications of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar include a copper nickel-clad composition for the circulation strikes, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The total weight is 22.68 grams, the diameter is 38.1 millimeters, 1.5 inches, and the thickness is approximately 2.58 millimeters. The edge of the coin is reeded, as is typical for U.S. higher denomination coinage. While some special collector's editions, proof and uncirculated, from San Francisco Mint were struck in 40% silver, the 1972 coin from Denver was exclusively struck in copper nickel-clad. The mintage of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar was substantial, with approximately 92,548,511 coins produced, making it one of the higher mintage issues within the Eisenhower series. As a result, it was widely circulated across the United States and used in casinos, vending machines, and daily transactions, although its large size often made it less popular among the public compared to paper $1 bills. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar series is the variety of reverse types, but these primarily concern the Philadelphia, no mint mark, coins, which have 3 different varieties, Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, based on subtle differences in the Earth and islands detail. The 1972 however, was struck with only one standard reverse type, Type 1 style, so it is not considered a major variety coin. This makes it more straightforward for collectors compared to its Philadelphia counterpart. In terms of historical context, the Eisenhower dollar was minted during a period of great change in the U.S. monetary system. The U.S. had moved away from silver coinage in 1965, and by 1971, the very first year of the series, the U.S. was embracing the modern copper nickel-clad system. The dollar coin also represented a political tribute to Dwight D. Eisenhower, who passed away in 1969, and to the Apollo program, which had just achieved humanity's first lunar landing that same year. Thus, this coin bridged 2 defining chapters of 20th century American history: post-World War II leadership and the space age. From a numismatic value perspective, The 1972D Eisenhower dollar is generally considered a common date coin, with many surviving in circulation and uncirculated rolls. In circulated condition, G4 to VF20, its value is typically $1 to $1.50, only slightly above face value in extremely fine, XF40 to 50 Australian dollars, grades. It might bring around $2 to $3. Coins in mint state, MS60 to MS63, are often valued between $5 and $10, while MS64 to MS65 coins with strong luster and minimal contact marks may be worth $12.25. High-grade specimens graded MS66 or MS67 can fetch significantly higher prices, sometimes $75 $150 depending on the coin's strike quality and market demand. The Eisenhower dollar series, including the 1972D, was not widely hoarded for its silver content, as the circulation strikes contained no silver however. It remains popular among collectors for its historical themes, large size reminiscent of older silver dollars, and the challenge of assembling a complete set including the rarer type. 2 Philadelphia 1972 dollar. Culturally, the 1972D Eisenhower dollar also has associations with casino token usage in Las Vegas and other U.S. gaming centers, where large dollar coins were preferred for slot machines before the advent of tokens and modern cashless gaming systems. Many of these coins saw heavy wear in such environments. From a design legacy perspective, the Eisenhower dollar was the last large-sized dollar coin intended for general circulation in the U.S. After 1978, the series was replaced by the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar 197919811999, and later by the Sacagawea and Presidential dollar series. Thus, the 1972D Eisenhower dollar represents an era now gone, when the dollar coin was still a substantial piece of metal with a commanding presence in the hand. For collectors, the 1972D coin is an essential date in a complete Eisenhower dollar set, especially for those collecting by mint mark. Its high mintage makes it relatively easy to acquire, but pristine, fully struck, and high-grade examples are increasingly appreciated as more collectors focus on this once-overlooked series. Next, the 1977D United States $1 coin is part of the historic Eisenhower dollar series, 1971-1978, a set of large-sized dollar coins issued to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower and to commemorate the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969. As with all coins in this series, it is important to clarify that the U.S. $1 coin of this period does not feature Queen Elizabeth II. Instead, it proudly displays the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, who served from 1953 to 1961. The mention of Elizabeth is a common confusion, as coins from the United Kingdom and Commonwealth nations at that time carry the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, but U.S. coins have never depicted her image. The Eisenhower dollar series holds a special place in U.S. numismatic history as the first dollar coin struck for circulation since the peace dollar series ended in 1935. After more than 3 decades without a circulating dollar coin, the U.S. Mint reintroduced it in 1971 to celebrate both a respected military leader and president, and one of humanity's greatest achievements, the first manned lunar landing. By 1977, this series was in its later years, with only 2 more years of production remaining before its replacement by the smaller-sized Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979. On the obverse front of the 1977D Eisenhower dollar is a left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower designed by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The design captures Eisenhower's strong yet composed demeanor, reflecting his leadership during World War II and his presidency during the early Cold War years. Surrounding the portrait are the Liberty across the top, In God We Trust, to the left beneath the chin, and the date, 1977, at the bottom. The mint mark, D, signifying the Denver Mint in Colorado, is placed just above the date. The presence of the D mint mark is significant for collectors, as 1977 Eisenhower dollars were also minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and San Francisco, S, for proof strikes. The reverse, back, of the coin continues the iconic Apollo 11 commemorative design introduced in 1971. It depicts a bald eagle landing on the moon's surface, clutching an olive branch in its talons, symbolizing America's commitment to peace through strength and exploration. The Earth is seen in the distant background above the lunar horizon, tying this design to the space exploration era. Around the top edge is the United States of America, with E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many one, just above the eagle. The denomination, $1, is inscribed along the bottom. This design was based on the Apollo 11 mission insignia created by astronaut Michael Collins, linking this coin directly to a monumental event in human history. The technical specifications for the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar include a copper-nickel clad composition for all circulation strikes. The outer layer consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, resulting in a total weight of 22.68 grams. The diameter measures 38.1 millimeters, 1.5 inches, and the coin has a thickness of approximately 2.58 millimeters. The edge is reeded, a standard feature for higher denomination U.S. coinage. While some earlier issues of the series, 1971, 1974, 1976, included special collector strikes in 40% silver, by 1977 no silver-clad versions were made, making all 1977 D coins standard copper-nickel clad. The mintage of the 1977 D Eisenhower dollar was 32,983,006 coins, a moderate figure compared to the higher mintages seen in 1971-1974, but still sufficient for circulation. This makes the 1977 D one of the more accessible dates for collectors, though not as common as some of the earlier issues. Its relatively lower mintage compared to earlier years does give it slightly more collector interest. Historically, the 1977 Eisenhower dollar was issued during a time when the dollar coin still struggled to gain widespread circulation in the United States. Many Americans preferred the $1 bill over the bulky 38mm coin, and as a result Eisenhower dollars often ended up being used in casinos, vending machines, and by collectors rather than in everyday commerce. The large size, though admired by numismatists, was impractical for wallets and daily U.S. in terms of numismatic value. The 1977 D Eisenhower dollar is generally considered a common-date coin, especially in circulated grades. In good, G4, to very fine, VF20, condition, its value is typically between $1 and $1.50, just slightly above face value. In extremely fine, XF40 to 50 Australian dollars, grades, values may range from $2 to $3. Mint state, MS60 to MS63, examples often sell for $5 to $10, while higher grades such as MS64 and MS65 can bring $12 to $25. Superb gem examples in MS66 or MS67, with strong luster and minimal contact marks, can be significantly more valuable, ranging from $75 to $150 or more, depending on market demand and the coin's eye appeal. One area of interest for collectors is the strike quality and luster of the 1977 D dollar. Denver minted Eisenhower dollars are generally well struck compared to Philadelphia issues, but contact marks from heavy bagging and transport often reduce their grade potential. Coins with full detail on Eisenhower's hair, a clean cheek and sharp reverse details are more sought after. From a historical perspective, the Eisenhower dollar serves as both a memorial to a key American leader and a symbol of the nation's technological and exploratory achievements. Dwight D. Eisenhower was a five-star general, the supreme Allied commander in Europe during World War II, and a president who oversaw the early years of the Cold War, the Korean War armistice, and the creation of the interstate highway system. The reverse, meanwhile, reflects the optimism of the space race era and the pride of the Apollo program. Culturally, the Eisenhower dollar also became iconic in American casinos during the 1970s. Large numbers of these coins, including the 1977 D issue, were used in slot machines and gambling venues, especially in Las Vegas. This association with casino culture gives them a nostalgic value for many collectors. In terms of collecting strategies, the 1977 D is considered an essential part of any complete Eisenhower dollar set, which usually includes coins from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Since no silver issues were minted that year, the series for 1977 is relatively straightforward. Collectors often aim to assemble sets in mint state or proof, and some pursue complete business strike sets with coins from both major mints. Grading plays a key role in determining the coin's value. In circulated grades, it carries minimal premium, but in uncirculated or gem condition, it can be a desirable piece. Collectors also seek coins with original mint luster, minimal bag marks, and strong eye appeal. Certified coins graded by services such as PCGS or NGC often achieve higher prices, particularly in MS66 or higher. From a broader perspective, the Eisenhower dollar series ended just 1 year after this coin was struck, with a final regular issue in 1978. It marked the end of the large-size U.S. dollar coin. After this, the U.S. Mint transitioned to the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, 1979-1981, 1999, which was more convenient for commerce but still faced public resistance. Next, The 1978 United States $1 coin is the final year of the Eisenhower dollar series, 1971-1978, a significant era in American numismatics that marked the last time a large, silver dollar-sized coin was struck for general circulation in the United States. As with all coins in this series, it is important to clarify that this coin does not feature Queen Elizabeth II. Rather, it bears the portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, 1953-1961, and Supreme Allied Commander during World War II. The reference to Elizabeth is a frequent misunderstanding caused by the presence of her effigy on many Commonwealth coins of the same period, but U.S. coins have never portrayed the British monarch. The Eisenhower dollar series was introduced in 1971 to honor both President Eisenhower's legacy and the monumental success of the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969, which marked humanity's first steps on the lunar surface. Throughout its run, the coin was issued in two major compositions: copper-nickel clad for circulation and 40% silver clad for certain collector editions, 1971-1974 and bicentennial 1976 issues. However, by 1978, all coins including the Denver Mint issues were strictly copper-nickel clad, as silver was discontinued for this series after 1976. The obverse, front, of the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar, designed by Frank Gasparo, is a bold left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower. The inscription Liberty crowns the top edge, while In God We Trust is displayed to the left below Eisenhower's chin. The date, 1978, is located at the bottom, and the mint mark, D, representing the Denver Mint in Colorado, appears just above the date. The Denver Mint was one of the primary producers of Eisenhower dollars, alongside the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint, S, for proofs. The reverse, back, continues the iconic Apollo 11 commemorative design used since the series began. It features a majestic bald eagle landing on the surface of the moon, grasping an olive branch in its talons, symbolizing peace and the United States' commitment to exploration for peaceful purposes. In the distant background, Earth hovers over the lunar horizon, a striking reminder of the Apollo mission's legacy. The inscriptions include United States of America along the top rim, E pluribus unum above the eagle, and the denomination $1 along the bottom edge. This design was adapted from the Apollo 11 mission patch, originally created by astronaut Michael Collins, making it a direct tribute to one of humanity's most defining moments. The technical specifications for the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar are consistent with other copper-nickel-clad issues in the series: a weight of 22.68 grams, a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, 1.5 inches, a thickness of about 2.58 millimeters, and a reeded edge. The composition consists of a pure copper core clad with an alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers. These specifications gave the coin its characteristic silvery appearance and sturdy feel, though its large size made it cumbersome for daily commerce. The mintage for the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar was 33,012,890 coins, slightly higher than the Philadelphia issue of the same year. As the final regular issue circulation strike of the Eisenhower series, it holds a special place for collectors, not only because it represents the end of an era but also because it was the last large-size dollar before the transition to the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, 1979-1981, 1999. Historically, the 1978 issue marks the conclusion of the Eisenhower dollar's journey, which was marked by both nostalgia and criticism. Many Americans appreciated the return of a large dollar coin after a 36-year hiatus since the peace dollar of 1935, yet the coin never achieved widespread circulation success. It was considered too large and heavy for everyday use, and the $1 bill remained the public's preferred medium for that denomination. As a result, many of these coins, including the 1978 D, saw more use in casinos, vending machines, and military exchanges than in daily retail transactions. In terms of numismatic value, the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar is a common-date coin, widely available to collectors. In circulated grades, good to very fine, its value hovers around $1 to $1.25, slightly above face value due to its collectible appeal. In extremely fine, XF, to about uncirculated, AU, condition, it may bring $2 to $3. Mint state, MS 60 to MS 63, examples are typically worth $5 to $8, while higher uncirculated grades such as MS 64 or MS 65 can command $12 to $25. Exceptional specimens in MS 66 or MS 67, which are rare due to contact marks and bag abrasions common in bulk transport, may sell for $75 to $200 or more, particularly if certified by leading grading services like PCGS or NGC. The strike quality of the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar is generally considered good, as Denver Mint coins often exhibit stronger details than their Philadelphia counterparts. Collectors pay close attention to Eisenhower's cheek and hair for signs of wear or weak strikes, and to the field's background areas for luster and minimal contact marks. As the final year of the series, the 1978 Eisenhower dollar holds special significance for type collectors and series completists alike. Many collectors aim to assemble full sets of Eisenhower dollars from 1971 to 1978, often including both Philadelphia and Denver business strikes, as well as San Francisco proofs and silver-clad variants from earlier years. The absence of silver issues in 1977 and 1978 simplifies the series for late-year collectors. From a historical and cultural perspective, the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar represents the end of the cartwheel dollar era in the United States. It was the last time Americans would see such a large, hefty coin in their change. Following its discontinuation, the U.S. Mint shifted its focus to smaller, lighter coins in hopes of improving public acceptance, but this goal largely failed until much later with the introduction of the Sacagawea and presidential dollars in the 2000s. Some collectors also seek errors and varieties for the 1978 D issue, though they are relatively scarce. Typical errors include off-center strikes, planchet flaws, or die cracks. However, there are no major or well-known varieties for this date compared to other years in the series. In modern numismatics, the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar continues to enjoy steady collector interest due to its status as the last of its kind. Many are preserved in mint sets or coin albums, and those with strong luster and clean surfaces remain highly desirable. For investors, its intrinsic metal value is tied to its copper content, which is minimal, so its worth is primarily numismatic rather than bullion-related. Ultimately, the 1978 D. Eisenhower dollar is a coin that bridges two eras: the grand traditional silver dollar size of the early 20th century and the modern era of smaller, more practical dollar coins. It reflects a time of transition in U.S. coinage history and serves as a tangible reminder of both the Eisenhower presidency and the American spirit of exploration symbolized by the Apollo 11 mission. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.